to stop seeing, if you're someone that goes through, sadly, what is called gangstalking. It's not, it's just familiar and monitoring spirits. There's just a huge mob of them. They become a group. When they become a group, then sadly, people don't necessarily think it's those same demons. Just study familiar and monitoring spirits. Okay, anyways, I came up with a solution. I actually recorded many other episodes, but I deleted it because I don't think it was good advice. Because I keep trying to figure out a way to stop being aware of them. So yes, they're following us. It's a witchcraft. It's not humans. These are demons. But, right? Step 1, you're supposed to pray. I created a prayer plan on my YouTube channel. You can use that. Go through the first 12 prayers. There's thousands, obviously, but that's like the best you need to keep going back and forth between them. Because they're the ones who would fit these demons. But, right, those channels, obviously, you can always go and click on whatever other stuff you see that sort of reflects you. So, basically, the solution is everything that they do, right? Just ignore it, right? You're going to ignore it. Okay, you're just walking. What they do is they force us to be aware of them, right? Like some bad energies. Oh, like there's this sort of hyperawareness of something they're about to do before they do it, correct? It's like you're getting this sort of feeling and awareness and thought at the same time that, for example, that cop vehicle is going to pass by you, even though they're so far away. Like that. Isn't it the awareness that's the problem? Okay, just tell yourself that's how they are. As you're ignoring them, whatever sort of awareness overcomes you, whether it's an energy, a thought, whatever it is, you become aware of the vehicle driving too slow, too weird. Just tell yourself that's how they are. Then your brain is going to release that vehicle, that human, that situation. And you're going to see them just like everybody else. They're just going to drive. They're just going to walk. Right? Because you're not going to get controlled by thoughts anymore because you just disconnected it from yourself. Because they're trying to attach themselves to you. You might be like, why would that be the solution? That's not how they are. They're just like that to me. No, they're not. If you're going through gangstalking, it just means you're aware. It just means you're someone who's awake to the spiritual side of things. Don't ever go studying spiritual awakening stuff. That's demonic. But it just means you're aware of things that you and I cannot see with our own eyes, which is demons. Okay, so when you think that's a gang stalker, what you're actually seeing is a demon, not a person. That's why the vehicle seems like a living person sometimes, right? Like something with its own feelings and thoughts. It's gonna control me. 5 vehicles just drove by right now. This whole time it was okay, but now they're trying to put their thoughts into my head. Because they're all driving really slow. Oh, they're listening to you. They're judging what you're like that. Meaning whatever the gang stalker is. They can't hear me, obviously. So if I tell myself that's how they are, whatever I hear, whatever I see, if I just tell myself that's how they are, they're walking really weird, that's how they are, they come outside the same time as you, that's how they are, you're going to realize not only are you going to be mentally free from them, you need to pray, obviously, until God delivers you from them. They're called familiar monitoring spirits. And you also need to pray for your finances, for doors that are open regarding finances, and all other doors that are open that are supposed to be closed. You're just asking for God to close it. Okay, He'll do that. They open many doors, basically, like your money, your finances, so that means they can attack it. And then they close doors, which is like your freedom, your deliverance, like that. So then you're never going to be free, like that. So right now, I'm getting this thought that someone's standing over there watching me, stalking me, listening to me. You get me sort of like their demon. If I just tell myself, whatever that thing is over there, I don't even know what type of human it is. I just tell myself that's how they are. Right? Those thoughts that I'm getting about them, that's how they are. Because that really is how they are. They can't have these characteristics only towards us. That means they're acting like that towards other human beings all day, including each other. Including the human beings that are gang-stalking you at one point. Obviously, they're all being affected by the other one's gang-stalking, correct? If this one makes noise, didn't the others in the road also hear that noise? Okay, so what is the problem with you and I then? Why are we so bothered? It's not because we're being bothered by them. It's because we're aware. They're attaching themselves to us. They're making it seem as if whatever they do is our business. No, these human beings are highly mentally ill. Even if they have great jobs, families. You get me? Mental ill doesn't always mean the drug addict in the street who's homeless, you know? Too much noise. See, they're driving really slow, and as I look at them, there's this energy, and then if I look at them 1 second longer, the energy becomes thoughts. You know? So just ignore them, make your eyes relaxed. But then whatever happens, right? Whatever noise, whatever weird way they do, whatever it is, you're no longer going to see the demon or the energy. Just tell yourself that's how they are. You're going to see that's actually how they are. That they're like that towards other human beings all day, but other human beings are not aware of them. They're not aware of them like you and I. So all demons did is they just did some witchcraft to us that makes us aware that these types of human beings are possessed and they're just puppets all day. They just go out, they just drive all day, they just do this all day. Which means if you came from a narcissistic family, they're the same, you know? That means they also go out and gangstalk people. You see what I'm saying? Just as you wouldn't attach them to those people they're stalking, that those people don't even know them and they don't know those people, these ones are the same. They don't know you and no one knows nobody. So it's not something fake we're saying just to help ourselves. No, it's really true. These human beings really do walk like this. They really do drive like this. They really are actually like this. It's just human beings. When God creates us, we're just naturally absent people. It just means you became aware of something other people are absent to, including yourself a little bit earlier in life. Correct? Because you would also agree they were around your whole life, but you were never aware of them. The human standing way over there, their energy is so evil. It's like you can't stop being aware of them. There's just thoughts telling me what they think of me, even though they're far away. Right? And thoughts telling me what to do according to them, like get out of this road. So you see, it's that energy. When gangstalking really started, for me, right? You know, the stuff that we would call gangstalking, the actual stalking. I always saw this bad energy on a human. I always saw this bad energy, and then they would say something. So the energy always told me this was the same type of human before they started to do the same behaviors, always talking to you and stuff. Always acting like they know you and stuff. Sometimes it's actually an illusion. I don't even think that was a person because the energy won't stop. I think that's like a bush or tree or something. You get me? Because these vehicles passing me by, I'm fine. So, yeah, just tell yourself whatever you see, right? The way they're sort of acting always. Tell yourself that's actually how they are. They're not really acting. Other people are seeing the human. You and I are seeing what's inside of them, their demon. But that is also the human because they are just like their demon. So just see that's how they are. Now, if they're ever an employee, a customer, a stranger in the street, you're never going to be affected by their creepiness, their body language, the way they always come outside. You know if you leave that city, they would still come outside and walk like that. You get me? That's actually how they are. It just means they're sensitizing us to humans who are like that, which is a huge majority in the human race. All they're doing is they're bringing them to our environment all the time so that we start to think, where did they come from? As if they weren't already there. It's really just thoughts. I just saw this human come out of a restaurant and they're going to their car. And I'm getting thoughts about what they are gonna do. There's a cop passing by right now. They have this horrible energy. And I'm getting thoughts what they think of me standing in the sidewalk as I record this. You know? It's like we're always getting thoughts of what they think of you, which is not true. Demons don't think of you like that. Humans don't think of you like that. They don't know you. Okay, that's the cop right now driving crazy. You get me? If you just tell yourself that's actually how they are, not he, she, but they, like that sort of plural way, they are. Now, whatever they do, whatever their energy, exactly that bad energy, the evil thoughts in your head. Yeah, just tell yourself, yeah, I heard those evil thoughts. But that's how they are. You get me? I swear to God, try it. It's so much easier. The 2-3 episodes I recorded, that just make, I was giving other advice, but then that was sort of giving it, that was just not the right way. Let's ignore them. That's correct. But the problem is there's witchcraft that was done to us before gangstalking started, and that's hyperawareness. They make our neck turn and see that person way over there walking, synchronizing with us at the same time. You get me? So when they do that, exactly, since you can't prevent it in that sense always, just tell yourself that's how they are. Exactly the way they're walking. The way they're pretending to be a normal person with their head down, yeah, that's how they are. They're not acting that way to stalk me. You tell yourself that, you'll be free. So no matter how their facial expression, their body language, whatever they do, whatever it looks like, the bad energy, whatever they do, the way they drive, the way it seems like they're synchronizing when they drive, like a mob. If you just tell yourself that's how they are, then for example, when you're an employee, since that's so important, right? They come to your jobs. You're finally going to be the way you were when you were younger. Well, basically, you're going to be able to treat them neutrally like you treat customers who have good intention, you know? You're just going to be your calm, professional, neutral self, you know? And you're going to actually develop a really healthy, authentic persona, unlike any other authenticity, because you're learning to be so neutral. Versus if they didn't follow you then, or if you weren't someone who just wasn't aware of bad energy in people or their character, then you'd always be like, hi, you'd be so innocent in that sense. And one day someone's going to steal your energy, right? Not fake, right? The average human being, like the toxics, for example, they fake with people. Hello, how can I help you? So it's so irritating to people who are truly genuine. They seem annoying for that reason. But you get me? You're actually normal. You're kind. You're not kind to them. You're just your kind self, you know? You're so neutral with them. So then everyone, right? Like your coworkers, customers, everyone's going to see the same persona, the same way you are all the time. You're just always the same. No one can tell what you're thinking, feeling. Your face never shows it. Because when those customers come in and they have that weird vibe, a weird energy, weird body language, you know, they're usually going to be really poor, you know. That's just what demons do. These human beings that they really restrict to poverty seem to always have very weird vibes and, you know, just really creepy personalities and, you know, highly perverted. So you get me? Even if they were not stalking you, you'd still see that weird vibe. The only difference is they just have bad intention. That's what the stalking is doing. While without that witchcraft, okay, then they just mind their business. Okay, so the weird vibe, the weird facial expression, the way they're trying to approach you right as a customer just so they can get a reaction or make you uncomfortable, make you feel like they have power over you or something. Excuse me, where is black? They just, right, just fake question just to get you to see them, right? Just to get you to know you're being followed or bothered like that. You're no longer going to see those eyes that want you to look at it. Those eyes that, right, it's like they're trying to make eye contact with you where they want you to see through them. Have you noticed? That's because it's not the human who's gang stalking you. Their demon is. So that's why they always want you to look through their eyes and see through the human's eyes, not right at their face. And if you ever look directly at their face, then you're seeing some weird face, some weird darkness, you know? Their face isn't relaxed like they are with others, because that's also their demon. And lastly, just remember, the demon is not always the one doing the behavior. There's witchcraft that they actually put on the human face, both their hands and both their feet. So that's why whatever that you do is usually with those three areas of the body. You get me? There's no control the human technically has in that sense over their hands and feet and face. So that's why when you ever look at them to like try to study them, they always look away. They hate it. They don't like to make eye contact with you. But then it's like a robot. They, they change their neck or something. Then they turn around and now they want to stare at you. You're thinking, what the hell? You were just self-conscious like a human is. Because, right, they did something, right, internally inside that human where they now changed sort of like the witchcraft in a way that it doesn't sort of make this human or the demon self-conscious of you. You get me? Because they're still a living being. They're going to be affected if we judge them. So that's really what gangstalking has taken away from these human beings. Their ability as a human, right, when they're bad or mean, to be self-conscious and then feel, right, like they're being judged. They just exactly act like a robot or something, or a zombie, or exactly. Because it's not really the human or the demon in the face. It's a witchcraft. So you see how easy it is then for them to not get tired and do the same thing in thousands of human beings? Their face will do the same thing. Their hand gestures will be the same. The vehicle also has the same vibe. When you look at the vehicle, you're getting thoughts of what the vehicle thinks and feels, where it's going to swerve, what it's going to do. Why are we getting thoughts about what a car thinks? That's an object, because there's witchcraft in the vehicle that is always trying to put thoughts into your head so they can control you with those thoughts. You know? So I only really get to see that, and it's sort of difficult to stop it only when I record this because I'm too distracted. But if I stop this recording right now, right, my usual persona that I have now, just relax, I can really focus on myself like when I was younger. I could care less they're in this road. I cannot be affected anymore by thoughts that say, what if they do this? What if they do? Because it's not attached to me anymore. I don't see what they do as about me anymore. Because I realize I've already seen these humans all my life. Before the year 2019, when gangstalking started. They were the ones who already used to come to my job and accuse me and harass me and bother me, set me up to be fired always. And then they could write in my school, they were sort of covert. But they were the teachers who would always give me a bad grade. You get me? And just sabotage everything. It's like that. They were always there, but we were just sort of absent. You know? And it's normal. It's normal to be present and make eye contact with people and look at them and be healthy and say hello. It's human nature. It means you're wonderful, you know? It means you're elevated. But then there's a consequence if they're putting witchcraft on us that makes these things happen in a body, right? In a human body. There's nothing we can do but to now, right, have some sort of disadvantage to us being authentic and calm and healthy and judging people and something others really don't do. They're just fake. Hello, how are you today? Yeah, welcome. Oh, hi, man. But they're just so fake, you know? So whatever you see, right, a homeless person is walking right now, just the body language he has, the way he's just walking, that really is how he is. And I can see that. The demon is not making him act weird. The only thing is the stalking, right? They just make them appear. But the body language is actually the way that human usually walks. But if I was hit by the thought of fear and I actually reacted to it in my heart, right, internally, oh no, why are they walking by? What are they going to do? Those types of thoughts come to you, right? It's not us. If I actually listen to that and I judge and observe them, then now they're going to manifest. They're going to do things with their face, their hands. You get me? They get to play more with this game. So I think it's irrational. I think it's crazy that just this year, 2021, when gangstalking, I would say, really, really was happening, it was just at a lower level. They weren't necessarily doing things in the road and stuff. I remember seeing these humans always walking at night, you know, because I was traveling. So I was staying in hotels. If I go outside, right, this huge fear will come over me. Something evil is out there, you know. So that's something they put in us. No one's scared of anything. But then right? When I'm just a human, I'm just a customer or just a stranger walking by in those sort of right roads or places where there's stores and stuff. Every vehicle, every human, everything that walked by, I remember is similar to these ones. They're creepy, weird, zombie-like body languages. Other body languages where they sometimes they stop acting like a zombie and they do other things. Whatever persona they did, right? I remember that younger self in 2021, right? Saw that as just how things are. I never used to think that those humans, their body language, their energy, or anything was strange about them. It's only if they harassed me or something. It's only just the fact that I was getting thoughts telling me they have bad intention. You get me? If I didn't get those thoughts, then I could just walk by them in that restaurant, I'd be fine. But now, you get me? They just put more witchcraft on our mind that tells us what they're gonna do. So it's not necessarily from sensation. You get me? It's actually because they're telling us. So that's what I'm saying. If you realize when the thoughts tell you, oh, they're gonna do something bad, this is what they're thinking. Don't try to like fix it, because that one has such a different energy than the other cars or humans. Just like this cop car right now, their energy was distinct. It was more evil. My stomach was getting hit. You know, that sort of fake fear. It's a witchcraft. And I was getting thoughts that, oh, no, you're hyper aware. How come the other cars, you're comfortable with them, but this vehicle, you're not? It's trying to accuse me of being weak or dumb if I'm aware of something that I'm aware of, because they're sending that to me, not because I'm hyper aware, right? Because I'm at fault or something. No, I'm aware of that sort of energy in everyone right now driving, where they seem just casual. I just know they're evil, but they're just casual, right? They're not creating chaos. They're just sort of driving. But then the cop car had a weird energy. See, they want us to think that we somehow are somehow afraid or hyper aware. They want to make it seem as if we need to somehow change our mind, do something to our brain. No, we're seeing a higher, more evil or bad energy, which is also followed by thoughts telling you what they're gonna do, what they may do. Oh no, what are they gonna do? What is that cop gonna do? Is he gonna do theater like that? That, right? That sort of awareness of them at a different level than the others who seem sort of like you're whatever, you're not bothered by them, is because they're actually attacking you with that method. They're actually putting such a higher energy on that car and not the others. You see? So you're not going to fight with hyper awareness, because you realize it's not you who's actually aware, because, right, they traumatize you and you're trying to relax. No, it's not you. There's nothing you can do about it. They're always going to do that because that's not your brain. That's a witchcraft. You know? So you're just going to see it because that's actually the reality. But in order to not have anxiety or stress or, right, the actual hyper awareness we're trying to stop, which is us following that, being controlled by that, by the mind being forced to do that, right? We just tell ourselves whatever bad energy we just saw, that's how they are. Then it's going to stop the thoughts telling you what they're going to do. Now, your brain was put to focus on one car, one person, right? Their energy and what they're going to do. So wait a minute. When you just told yourself that's how they are, your brain stops. It does that for you. It stops that focus it was forced to do on one car, one person, right? It stops that for you. And you become focused on yourself now. And now you're going to be aware of the whole road, everyone, what they're doing. Yay! So now you're going to see things like other people do, right? Just cars driving. So they make us see gangstalking by doing a witchcraft to our eyes that intentionally makes us look at one car or one human or one animal or something or situation. Everyone else, they make us forget about them. They just go to the subconscious. Okay, so then what's going to happen? Then they're going to tell you, ride that car with the bright headlights. They're going to then tell you what they're going to do. And then your brain is waiting to see if that's true. So what are they doing? They're forcing us to pay attention to them because they're telling us what they may do and it's threatening or criminal or bad. Okay, and your body's trying to protect you, wants to really see if they're going to do it. But then they're also, on top of that, it's not just you. They're also forcing you to look at it, even if you want to look away, even if you're used to it and you're like, they're not going to do anything. You get me? You can never get used to it and just ignore such a thought because they always do something different every now and then. And you're always in some sort of anxious state. So you can't just be like, whatever, I'll just ignore them, because they are criminals. You can't just ignore them. I mean, it depends the environment. Some environments, they don't do things. So you get me. Whatever that bad vibe is what you're seeing first. Even if you reach the level of hearing thoughts, just tell yourself that's how they are. Your brain will come back to you and it'll stop seeing the thoughts and the energy only, and that stuff is gonna go somewhere else, like the subconscious, and then your conscious is actually gonna see what the vehicle is doing, not what it's gonna do, which is hyperawareness, right? Why should I try to focus on the future situation, right? Why should I do that? And now, since you're watching what they're doing, you're gonna see they're driving slow because they're actually exiting some sort of road, right? And that's actually why they are driving so slow. But your brain saw this creepy little pest-like image of a car, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's why these cars were. You get me? You can actually start to see the story, the reality of what the road actually is doing. They're not gonna connect either. They're not gonna seem like they know each other or anything. So just do that, right? And you're just gonna naturally be comfortable and just get used to them. You're always gonna see them that's just how they are, like some strange species or some mentally ill type of persona, and you're never gonna, right, forget who they are, because you need to protect yourself. But you're gonna always see them distinctly that way because that's how they are. Not distinctly that way because they're bothering you. And then, yeah, just live your life as you keep doing those prayers until this stops. Your finances become free. Just because you get a job doesn't mean they left your life. Just do it for a long time and ask God when they actually left your life. And ask Him to deliver you from them, right? Which is just a word for freedom. Until the end of time. You get me? Until we all die, this earth ends. In Islam, it's called the Day of Judgment. You know, we all get resurrected and get judged somewhere else. Right? So you can just say until the next life. Don't just be like, my Lord, deliver me or help me. Because, right, what if they then do this witchcraft to us again, and then they start to enter our lives? And that's why they can't do it to other people, because you might be thinking, then why don't they do it to other people if it's just a witchcraft? Why don't thousands of people go through it? Because it's kind of weird, you know, to some degree. I don't even know how that's possible. I don't understand how they're able to curse us with this, but not other people. Because other people also come from bad families. But the answer I got for you is that they're connected to the families we came from. They're just like them. That evil family God put me in, I always remember they would always go outside and drive, but then come back 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later. You get me? They always go out a few. And to be honest with you, it was the 5 daily prayers in Islam, which is like 6 a.m., and then 1 p.m., and then like 5 p.m., and then like 8 p.m., and then like 11 or 10 p.m., right? Those sort of marks that tell you the day is ending and like that. Very essential points of the day, right? Afternoon, before sunrise, evening, night, like that. And now that I think about it, that's when these humans are highly active with the gangstalking. So you get me? They're very evil. Their demon just tells them, let's go. And they go out. They get in their car. You see, that's why they use cars so much. They usually like to drive because it's very hard to torment you if they walk. You're going to get used to them. Some of them, you might be like, hello, you know, just to irritate them. They might leave you alone. Like, a vehicle is easy. It's fun. No one can see their face in that sense. They feel confident to use the noise in it, to use the sort of witchcraft they put on the car. Makes it look like some animal or some living thing also, to synchronize better, right? Because can they all run? No, right? But they can at least use a car to all run in your direction like that. And it's also an object. It can cause harm. So they're trying to use that to elicit anxiety in your brain, right? Even though they cannot do anything. Just the brain, right? Just to cause anxiety. Since they're driving recklessly. Okay, then that's why they drive recklessly. So cops do come. So, right, 99% of the time, the cops really are dealing with them. They're not fake. You know, no one can do something like that for fake. It's just that it looks fake to you because the demons is what you're seeing. Their body language, the way they look like, right? They're chatting or getting along or something. Um, one one thing I remember is that evil narcissistic family, which is just like these gangstalking humans. Um, Basically, I remember one time they came to my apartment after I disowned them, like 5 years or something later. They found my home and they came to it. It's because we didn't really get a chance to take them to court and stuff like that, you know. But there's better ways to deal with them. You know, it's better to tell God to get rid of them, because what is a court gonna do as much, you know? A lot of the abuse they did was usually in your childhood. You're gonna have to gather evidence. It's just too complex. It's better to ask God to get rid of them and punish them. So anyways, but right, you have to obviously go after them legally accordingly. Basically, I remember the cops that came to deal with them were so familiar with them, like some friends or something. They weren't the way a cop is with somebody. Excuse me. Okay, so we got a call that like that. That's sort of stoic way they try to speak, because right, they have to be right. They don't necessarily know always if someone committed a crime. So they try to be neutral, right? Their voice is not gonna be high, right? And even if they act that way, it's just to be fake, right? Hello, how are you today? Okay, it's still they're still being hostile, correct? It doesn't matter if they speak that way. That's just fake. And of course, these ones, they actually knew they committed a crime. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, you know. The situation. Either way, they just don't interact with each other the way a cop interacts with a bad person. They seem like they're getting along or something, because that's actually the way it is. Their demon will instruct the demon and the cop what to do. You know what I mean? And this human is going to be controlled to not really be hateful or go against this human that you just call the cops on. You get me? So that's why they're able to use cops against you so well. But don't let that fool you. If you ignore them and mind your business and see everything they are, every hyper awareness you become of them, such as a vehicle right now drove really slow. Like, I had a thought, what if they park around you? I actually told myself that's how they are. And I saw that they were actually driving really slow because they're getting to the red light. You get me? It's like you're just seeing that that's how they are. Then it's going to help you see why they're doing the behavior. Because that's mental control. They're lying to you as to why they're doing what they're doing. You know? Cops keep flying by right now all over and over and over again, this neighborhood. If I listen to what the thoughts are saying, they're saying they're looking for me or something. It's so irrational. They don't have a reason to look for you. They're trying to set you up like that. It's evil thoughts. Because that's what their demon are assigned to do. That doesn't mean that moment they have the power to do anything. Because they need you to give them power. They need you to commit a crime. So it's easy then. You get me? So that's why they need you to give them power. They need you to believe they can do it anytime. Because that's irrational. Just like when we were young, no one could ever put us in jail. No cop followed us. And these same demons were in our life. Why would they today have the power? You get me? They want us to believe they can. So that we act in a way that could actually make things worse. You get me? They don't have to tell you thoughts all day if they really had the power to do anything. They're telling you thoughts because they need power that way. They need you to associate them with yourself, the way they behave. But no, what's actually happening is something probably happened in the city, and these cops are looking for someone or something, right? They just, it seems like they have some reason to do that. So you always remember that. The human, they're not a demon. The demon is stalking you. The demon is the one doing the persecution. So you're just aware of their evil thoughts, their intention, what they wish they could do. But that human doesn't know anything. Especially since they cannot see you, since they're in cars. So always remind yourself, they actually really have something to get to. Now you're not going to see that as theater. You can actually realize that's real, right? They really are dealing with a real fire. They really are dealing with this or that. You get me? And you're going to finally be free. You know? You just know to stay away from such humans and protect yourself, yeah. But at least you know whatever is attacking you is inside of them and it's not them. And they really are going somewhere. And if they were to ever come near your neighborhood or something, you know then to move away from that environment and not think they're seeking your attention or something. No, they really are called to that environment to deal with some crime. So get away. You get me? Just do what you would have done if it was real. But But don't be too absent or anything like that. Just that healthy conscious where you're aware of things. No, I'm sorry, you're aware of yourself. But then it helps you to be aware of what's happening at an absent level and not conscious level. You know, like your subconscious is doing it. And your conscious can focus on your feelings, your thoughts. You get me? Then you're going to see the body language they have when you think something is theater. You're going to see the reason why it's always so familiar. Since, right, it's real. Why did it act? Why do they all look the same? Because they're possessed by the same demons. You agree? Then it's rational. They're going to not act different or distinct. It's just so you know something is bothering you. If they didn't do that, we wouldn't know to protect yourself, right? So it's okay. Let's just see that as a hint, you know? But the reason why then the humans are similar is because they're narcissistic. You get me? They're just like the evil family you were in. And you're like that scapegoat because you're a normal, healthy, good person. And it's not them always. It's their ancient demons that are following you because, you know, they're afraid you're going to break curses. Not only do you break curses by living differently than them, right? They're literally agents and puppets for demons like this all day. Don't think you're the only one. And some people over there, the gangstalking is who they're only used for. They're used to do everything. All the criminals in the world are them. You get me? It's just there's some that they like to reserve and they don't like to make them more into the direct criminal stuff. They like to just reserve them and just keep them and use them for these indirect crimes, right? Because if humans used every evil human to do crime, then they would all go to prison or something. So they like to keep some for society. So you see, that's why they always are pretending to be nice and normal to others, because that's the only way to keep them in society. They don't go to prison. So then they can do things like this, stalk someone like you and I, and no one knows. So we're going to realize there's something very jealous and envious and very hateful inside of them. Yes, that's who they are, but it's not directed at you. They don't know you. If you're like, but they saw me. Yeah, it's just like how they see other people and they also look at them the same way. It's just for you, you're sensitized to it because there's so many of them doing it at once. But they then look at the next person. You get me? The same way. So basically, these cops right now are just patrolling this neighborhood, as you would assume, because they've turned it into a criminal place. They're not really bothering anybody. They're not looking for anybody. I just saw it. They have that weird energy because I'm not paying attention to them. I've always been in my head where I'm always hearing thoughts and feelings of what they're thinking, right? Like what the gangstalking is thinking, like, oh, these vehicles feel this. It's so creepy. You know, they're always putting their thoughts and feelings into her head and lies. Okay, so since I'm healthy, I'm absent from that, then they seem different to me. They seem like they're running or something, or their energy is weird. But see, if they were controlling our mind, I was in my head listening to their thoughts all day, connecting it to myself, then they're going to drive slow and chill because exactly they want. They have control. So they all seem sort of quiet and confused and stuff. You know what I mean? Like their vibe seems confused. That's how you know they're not normal people. They're not really driving to get somewhere. And maybe they are, right? Maybe some of them really are shopping and eating around here. But what I'm seeing that is sort of that confused sort of personality, right? That doesn't seem to know what to do, is not blowing horns and fighting in the road, is their demon. So you get me? It's like you and I are actually aware of the actual thing inside of them, possessing them, that's tormenting us. Whatever it thinks it feels. They did witchcraft to us. That's always telling us that. But that usually gets worse when we're talking or something. Usually people learn to sadly record what happens about gangstalking. You just talk about it. It's not healthy. Go back to your dreams and keep the prayers up and doors will open and you'll be fine. What was I saying? But basically, brain fog. Yeah, when you're actually like when I stop this recording, for example, when you're actually absent like that, then their energy becomes like nice. You know, it's like you're seeing the human, not the demon. You're seeing that the human is actually going somewhere, driving, etc. You get me? I've literally seen them at night, just like the Eva family. Many of them, I've seen it with my own eyes. They just come out of their homes and they get in their car and they just drive around. They have no purpose. They have no reason. So, lastly, the most creepiest thing is, sadly, demons have corrupted a lot of human beings into things like spiritual awakening. There's no such thing. You're just seeing demons, and you should never talk to them or be nice or friendly or anything. These are creepy, evil predators, and they're your enemy. They're behind every evil, every problem in this entire universe. So yeah, they corrupt, sadly, those people who also are sensitive to demons, right? They call themselves empaths, spiritually awake. Sadly, they don't know. It's something religious. They don't know to go just learn the religious side of things and not this spiritual stuff they think they have to learn. So they always talk about how they're absorbing other people's energy. They're aware of people's energy. That's not energy. That's a demon you're aware of. You know? Since there's no good or bad demon, right? Demon, right? Evil. That's why then the energy is always affecting you negatively, you know? Because then technically, why are we not complaining about being aware of good energy? You see, why are we always complaining about being aware of bad energy? Because good energy could bother you if it's too much, right? Like, you don't want to know, right? So the reason why we're always seeing bad energy but not good energy, well, we just know someone has good vibe. Yeah, but you get me, it's not an energy, right? It's not in our face. That's because energy is not actually energy. It's actually demon. So it just means that you're just sensitive to their demon. Usually if they're a bad person, if they're a good person, it's very rare to see that because they're sort of overshadowing the demon. But at some point, right, you could notice some bad energy in them too because they're possessed. 90-something% of the human race is possessed. More than 95. So it's like all of you have a demon. I told you, you're just not awake. You're not aware. When you start to become aware, right, then they know that. They might create stories for you. Okay, so those human beings, obviously we should pray for them that they just come to the religious side of spiritual stuff, because demons are really destroying them. They're using them to get possessed in more dangerous ways. They talk about things like astral projection, this, that. You get light works and this works. All those things are demons. You know, the qualities of a demon possessing them is what they're describing when they tell you that they're going to do this or they're going to do that. The one talking to you is also the demon, usually that moment. You know, the human is being controlled. Their mouth is being overtaken, possessed by the demon. So then they can teach very well, because they're human, you know. They're going to know at some point something's possessing them because it'll take control over their body. Right? If you hear voices, you're not going to necessarily think you're possessed. If you don't know maybe religion stuff, all right, when something sort of controls you more, and when it maybe talks to you in a way where it's saying to you things like, hey, you know, like it's talking to you. So then why don't these people then just hate it since something is attacking them? They do hate it. It's just that moment it's not them who are talking. That moment is the demon who's talking, and therefore it's talking so positively about itself, you know, which is whatever energy it's talking about. And a lot of these people, right, the demon can confuse them. It can trick them. It might choose to not necessarily use too many voices or things that could lead them to think it's a demon or whatever. You get me? It could do many things to sort of control them too. So then they become agents of Satan without even sort of knowing too much that they're becoming agents of Satan. Because they're not really into religion. They're into spirituality. I sadly used to see that stuff when I was young because I didn't understand why I was seeing very evil energies in people. It just means they were possessed to be against me. You know what I mean? Anyways, for that reason, The last evil thing demons did is they created these disgusting disgusting stories of empaths, people who are just empathetic, um, which anyone can develop it as a quality. It's just kindness. But right, when they say that, they really mean people who are sensitive to your energy, not in a bad way, but that they're smart. You get me? They know things maybe others are not tuned to. Okay, so it's a gift, but it becomes a problem because demons are gonna then torment you maybe. I told you, if you pray, God will take their powers away from you, and then you can actually use that as a weapon, protect yourself from who you need to protect yourself from. Use a situation to benefit yourself like that. You're not doing evil, you're just being smart, You're not blunt and natural and boom in the situation. You actually know the energy of what's going on, right? They create this nasty story where they say things like narcissists are attracted to empaths, or empaths attract. They accusing us of attracting something evil. See, anytime you accuse someone of attracting an evil human or situation or demon, you're basically saying it's their fault. Correct? You're saying there's something about them that is actually calling this evil thing to say, come and attack my life. So you're going to laugh with me then, right? It's the dumbest thing on earth. We're human beings. God created us. Evil is something evil over there. It comes and attacks us. Are you going to ever say you call it? You like it? You want it to come and kill you and harass you and steal from you? You see what I'm saying? So narcissists are just that same evil. They're evil humans. So why would you attract them? Why would you want them in your life? And two, why would they be attracted to you? The word attract is so disgusting. Why would they just look at you and be like, I'm going to be bothering you, an empath, but everybody else, I'm going to leave them alone? No, they're evil humans. That means they bother everybody. Two, there's nothing about you that they see that then they feel like targeting you. There's no such thing as you are some sort of target for these families you come from, or for these types of humans with these personas, these, personality disorders like them. It just means demons see you as a threat. You get me? So no one's attracted to come towards you. They're scared of you. Because you're someone, if you ever learn the religious side, you're going to break curses off your bloodline. So it has nothing to do with evil versus good in terms of humans. Or it has nothing to do with anything except the fact that these demons know you're going to break curses. You're going to pray to God, and these types of curses that were the same sort of qualities in that family you came from, their grandparents had the same thing, right? You're going to break that because you're going to be different. You're going to go to God and be awesome. Even if they're not religious, they're still sort of different either way from these wicked humans they come from. So you get me? In their mind, the devil is thinking they have to stalk you then. See? We didn't say they're attracted to you. That's a demon going crazy. We're not saying, right, they're attracted to you. No, it's disgusting. Evil is not attracted to good. Evil hates good. Attract implies good. Attract implies some sort of affection or love. That's creepy. Don't attach evil humans to people. No, their demons are trying to attack your life the same way they attack people with gangstalking. Because in their mind, by attacking your life, usually with finances, right, and preventing you from meeting good people like yourself, then in their mind, you're gonna what? Exactly. Be consumed by the suffering, and you cannot actually fulfill your destiny. So that's literally it. Okay, but who do they need? Since demons don't have a body, who do they need in order to then actually stalk you, sabotage anything about you, always approach you, bother you, irritate you? A human. Okay. But then, okay, there's different types of humans, right? Good, bad. Who do they need to possess? An evil one. Okay, so then you're going to then notice there's a pattern of humans who are evil of a similar sort of characteristic, which we could say perverted, or we could say narcissistic, or we could say energy, whatever. It doesn't matter the term. All evil humans have these qualities: perverted, narcissistic, psychopath. It just means they're sick in the head, and they're perverted because, right, sick in the head again. They steal people's energy in the sense that they're so empty on the inside. It doesn't mean they want to steal your energy. Just if they say hello to you or sit next to you and talk to you for 5 minutes, you're gonna get sick. You get me? Because that was a demon also with them, not just a bad human. And both of them, their energy is darkness. Your energy got zapped. You get me? But the actual reason, from a more literal sense, you get zapped is they do witchcraft to you. So you see, it's a religious thing. That human, their demon is using witchcraft on you and evil stuff on you and evil eye on you. And you get me? That's why their eyes are always creepy to us, because that's evil eye. You get me? It's not the regular human eye that's just trying to be mean. So for that reason, because then there's going to be a pattern of these types of humans, because, right, they can only possess them, because you cannot use good people even if they're possessed. As a demon, you need bad people, and bad people have the same personality or characteristic traits, right? I don't mean literal person. I mean like characteristic traits, right? Okay, so then what are you going to notice? Exactly. Humans who are very similar in their character, always trying to enter your life or talk to you or harass you. So then they're going to mock you and I and accuse the human race of attracting something creepy or weird or evil, or they like your energy. They're attracted to empaths. Empaths make them feel better. You an empath, they're attracted to you, so you learn something from them. What? They mock people. How dare you? They're just, if a narcissist goes and steals from a store, you don't say that the store owner had to learn something from that. How, you're not gonna attribute something normal to something evil. Okay, so why are they always attributing someone healthy and normal like an empath to something filthy here, a narcissist? Why are you associating and attaching them to people? Exactly, because they want you to actually die as a person from that. They actually want you to just die in your soul, because that's a dishonor. They're dishonoring you. They're basically saying this thing actually finds you that way. Like they find you interesting or this or that. They actually like you. They're so disgusting. They're mocking you. It's like a perverted accusation against you. As if you attract something filthy or something. As if, you get me? Just like when a victim gets killed, if you say something like they asked for it, like that. That's what they're saying about empaths. It's like they're saying they asked for it. Narcissists like them. How dare you? But see, let's throw away the word narcissist. Let's just say evil human. Exactly. Then people are not going to say, you attract an evil human. You get what I'm saying? They like to create terms and then create another term, empath, when it's just a kind person, where a lot of people are kind, and make it seem as if there's some attachment between. That's so disgusting. You're attaching a demon to a normal person now? A demon is attached to you? No, it just means you're the people in your families that can break curses if you were to ever learn about God. So they have to stalk you. But when they stalk you, they don't attack and steal from you. They don't want you to know they're a demon. So they like to act fake friendly and say hello. So then, okay, then they're going to interpret that as somehow, see, they're attracted to you or something. They just want to enter your life. No, they have to act fake, friendly, in order to actually have the ability to say hello. And you might get tricked and just be like, hello, because you're not necessarily at that moment aware they're an evil person. But they said that same hello to someone else, and that person also didn't know, and they said hello back. Why are you being labeled some sort of weak thing they're somehow attracted to, like some little prey? You get me? Why are they treating you like some piece of meat they're attracted to? Okay, so if they're maybe making it seem as if you're distinct from others, even if they agree with us, they harass others, well, that's because that's a curse. A curse is making them bother your life. But the curse wants to destroy you with ignorance. It doesn't want you to know what's going on. If you knew what's going on, you'd pray. You get rid of them. So yeah, you get rid of them at some point because you see they're evil, but you get me? You pray. So good people come to your life and these weirdos leave. But if they interpret demons stalking you, you just don't know you're being stalked. You call it narcissistic. You call yourself an empath. While someone just like you literally calls themselves a targeted individual, and they call the same thing again, the narcissist, they call this one the gangstalker this time. You get me? It's just terminology is changing. The terminology is changing. There's no such thing as narcissist. It just means very creepy and weird and a psycho-human. That sort of personality coming out of them are the multiple demons they have in their body. So that's why, you get me, they all act different. But it's the same persona coming out of them. So people study it and label it a disorder. They are sick in the head, but it's not a sickness. It's just evil. It's just immorality. You get me? So people should just label them an evil human, and then they should ask themselves, okay, we understand, but why are they bothering these people more than others? Right? Why does this person see humans like this more than other people have seen them? That's not true. The average human in this earth is narcissistic. The average human is these humans. So they actually are bothering other people. They are also, going after other people. It's just there's no curse on those people. So then they're just going to be casual. Okay, but for you, they're going to try to enter your life to attack you covertly and sort of destroy your life from the background. You get me? Ask you a lot of questions about your plans, and it's always two things they ask you usually. Your education and career and job type of stuff, and then relationships, usually marriage. They'll ask you if you've ever fornicated before, if you ever want to get married. Because these bloodline curses, that's their job. Their job is to attack your money and your relationships. So you see, if you know this is just a demon, it doesn't have the ability to just come up to you and tell you it has bad intention and you fall into it and tell them your plan. It knows it has to pretend to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? I'm sorry, a sheep, right? But it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's sort of metaphor, that it's something evil. Of course, then you're going to see that quality where they're always trying to always say hi to you. You get me? So then the devil created this term to mock you by calling that attracted to you. No, it's just bad people. And if you say, okay, I understand, but why are they always bothering me? A curse. You get me? That's demons who are identifying you as someone that is moral, and who the family you came from is very evil, which is just like these ones. And they don't want you to ever succeed in life because that takes away their power as demons over that family. If new people are born to it, they cannot control them like this family. Your bloodline gets free. So these are the weird stories they create. You have to fix the terminologies, just as they call mental illness some sort of... It doesn't exist. It just means they're possessed also. People who have weird attachment disorders, right, which are very similar to narcissistic, just Google it or YouTube it. Fearful avoidant, dismissive avoidant, and the other one was... I forgot. You get me? They always act that way in relationships. Very fearful. Cut you off and stuff always. But they just don't give up on you and stuff. They come back. And then others are dismissive. Like that. That's their demon. Pulling them away from you. But at the beginning, the one wanting to build a relationship with you is actually the human. You see how logical that is? You're seeing two sides because there's two beings in there. So if people just knew the religious side, they stop wasting their time on spirituality and spiritual awakening. God allowed me to, see that stuff when I was young. Because, right, I noticed it. I noticed I feel drained by these random people who just approach me. They just always ask me about my plans. That's it. They don't have any other job. Hey, what's up? So you in college? Or you, you know what I'm saying? And some of them could just talk about random things. But I remember they just wouldn't shut up. And I remember the evil thoughts coming from being around them would always try to teach me to be sort of weak or submissive. It's not directed at me. It's just the witchcraft. So that's not a demon necessarily, because a demon can't just do these things. It's actually using powers like witchcraft. So you get me? It's projecting thoughts to you to just let these people talk longer instead of a conversation, you know, back and forth. Because they do that not just to steal energy, right? That's not necessary to talk so long to steal energy, right? They do that because they're trying to make you feel like you're some sort of prey, that you're some weak person. You get me? That these types of people think you're weak or something, and they just sit next to you and just talk to you, and I would then see that human the next day acting like they've never met me my whole life, because they were trying to project rejection to me. So they actually want you to think you're not who you are. This person they are so envious of, intelligent, empathetic, loving, kind, gifted, artistic. They're jealous of you. And that's not a human. So don't then think, oh, what a horrible human. No. The human is just a vessel for the demon. They really don't know you like that. They're not really looking at you and thinking, oh, I'm jealous of you. No, they're nothing. They're jealous of 50 other billion people. It's not that sort of weird way they're calculating anything about you. It just means a demon took over their body. The demon is really jealous of you in a way that they really are detailed about their envy towards you. You get me? Because they know you from your family's bloodline or some other place. They're ancient. That means they were here since Adam and Eve. So they've been here too long to sort of, right, see everyone that's connected to you, right? Bloodline or other people or where you live. You get me? So to them, they have a job. They have a job to project to you the opposite of your qualities, to make it seem as if people reject you and don't want to be your friend. But they're not bringing you people. They're bringing you humans who you would never want to be friends with. Very shallow, very weird, very narcissistic, which then means they're obviously mentally ill, very dumb and strange. You get me? Weak, filthy, lowly, disgusting, perverted humans. To other people, they might not necessarily look like that as much, but they're just a typical shallow weirdo in college. So it's not someone you would want to be friends with if you had a choice. You'd pick a healthy, assertive, really cool, healthy, smart person as your friend. So you get me? That's why then when they sit next to you or talk to you, you feel drained because they're making you forget things also. It's not just energy. Now you're not going to remember your own feelings and thoughts. The fact that, wait a minute, why did I get pulled in to even talk to this person? I don't even like people who are like them. You get me? They always try to project to you to just be fake friendly with them or something when you don't even like them. So I had to experience all that. Seeing that sort of weird bipolar-like quality in these humans. Never met them before. They just maybe act like they saw me somewhere. Or maybe they're the same religion or same ethnicity and they just pop up and they don't shut up. They seem to talk so much because it's a demon that's familiar with you. Blah, 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 blah. And that's why they're able to then say things where you're always going to say something like, you're right, me too. Anytime you're interacting with someone and you keep saying, me too, get away. We're individuals. We are not similar. Hell no. Are we going to say, me too, all day? You know, it could just be one situation. That's a demon who knows your history and they're going to make this person lie, just so you know. It's not that they pick someone who's very similar. No, I just told you they're evil, nasty, lowly humans. They're not similar to you. Okay, so what they're telling you is actually fake stories. Just so exactly they can make you think someone understands you at a deep level or soul level. They would try to always act like these people care about me and stuff. Anytime these human beings who today I know are gangstalkers, when I was young, all they did was watch and stare at me. When I say stare, it's like some money is coming from the sky and they and they can't believe it or something. So they just stuck. because that's not human. The demon is not like that either. The reason they're staring is because when they stare, they're projecting feelings and thoughts to me. Demons are very limited in how they can attack our mind. So that's what they like, to make you feel like people are watching you, and then you start to get thoughts and feelings. Why can't you just think they're watching, right? Because there's no such thing. The stare is very long, right? Not because God actually created an evil that just likes to stare for a long time just to be evil. No, he actually didn't create it like that. Stare is just like a behavior. It actually has a goal. You get me? The stare is not the goal. The stare is just the means to get the goal. The goal is to put thoughts and feelings into your mind. Attach those humans to you. Oh, they think you're pretty. They think you're rich. They think you're ugly. They think this. They think your shoes look weird. Okay, you might be like, okay, I understand. That's just evil thoughts. No, still don't understand. A lot of you, 50-something% of your personality sadly has come from those thoughts. Right? What those people are projecting to you even when they're not looking at you. So that's why, since I'm someone, when I walk, I look far ahead and I'm absent. I don't look around. I don't, these demons, right, would make the staring longer. They would make the staring longer. And again, that human doesn't always know, right, that that's what's happening as much. Because, right, they're possessed. And what the demon does is it makes them maybe aware of you. They're sitting somewhere and someone just walks by. They make them sort of maybe uncomfortable. What's that shadow, Or just curious, or just what's that? Or who's that? Or like that. You get me? That sort of way that you would agree. If they're possessing someone, they could trick them to look at you. Okay. And then they can put thoughts into this person's mind of something about you that's just normal. Like, who's that? Is that my coworker? Is that like that? And the person could be looking at you because their thoughts are happening. Their thoughts is just simply judging who's there or something, or what you're doing by their environment. But see, their demon is using their eyes to also stare at you. And okay, they don't always know that then the demon is putting evil thoughts and feelings into your mind using this person, right? Their eyes. So since it's a sin, right? And God is not going to hold them accountable for something they don't know, and this is their fault, it becomes their fault because they notice it at some point. They notice the evil thoughts and feelings coming over them about you at some point. So then that's when it would become a sin for them. You get me? A demon could have made them look around, see you accidentally, okay, but then they would look away. But then when they keep looking and the evil thoughts and feelings are entering their mind, well, then they're guilty for that. They're guilty for agreeing with it. They're guilty in their mind for being like, yeah, you're right. You get me? And being creepy or evil or envious or whatever it is. You can also don't think evil humans don't know what they're doing. No, I just mean they're being used, They're being used in a way where then they join that evil. So that just frees you. It frees you from caring what these humans are doing. But don't ever let anyone stare at you. You get me? That's something you stop. A demon today entered this car, just parked around me in this place that I was sitting outside to eat. And bluntly, they're just staring in my direction. I couldn't believe it because they don't usually do that in gangstalking, right? I told you, when they just stare, but it seems more human, or like when we were younger, how it used to feel versus now, they're failing. Because that means we're taking them back to how they were when we were younger, when we just used to enjoy our life and mind our business, despite always being aware of people having bad sort of thoughts and feelings and intent towards us as we enter that college, right, entrance or high school or store. Like, we always knew they would turn around and they're focused on us versus anybody else like that. But see, we never sat down and said to ourselves, why is that happening to me? So we were very healthy. We never attached that to ourselves. The gangstalking does it because that same awareness is just 10 times maximum that because of the witchcraft. So yeah, this demon possessed this human and just stare. But they were sort of far away, and I kept getting thoughts saying, they're probably looking away. That's probably the back of their head, their hair, that black stuff. It wasn't. It was like some cloth or something, but it was the human actually being, agreeing with their demon. They just don't know who I am, to just stare. So you get me? The energy changes based on what they're doing. If they just come there to stalk and just get in their vehicle, they don't want to come out of their vehicle because they're stalking. They're not there for the building. And they just sit there. Okay, I feel hyper-awareness coming over me, trying to get me to look at them. Just telling me, right, what the gang stalking is. Oh, look, another car came. They follow it like that, just telling you. I can ignore that, but then it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. The energy is so evil. It's like basically anxiety-like energy. Because that person, right, they're trying to make you look at them. But then one moment I was like, whoa, I think someone's watching me, so I felt the difference. Right? Hyper-awareness or you're being watched. Never let them watch you, because that's them treating you like you're not a human or something. Don't let them get away with that. I turned around and they maintained the stare, and they did that thing that they could never do when I was younger because I was healthier. But as we get sick from gang stalking, then they think they can torture us that way. But then if we go back to how we were when we were young, we don't care, right? We're not looking at them. They're looking at us. We remind ourselves what other people don't have to remind themselves, right? Those people would say, you're staring at me. Why would I get thoughts telling me to look away, that I'm a bad person? Exactly. See, we get those thoughts because we're being tormented by a witchcraft. Well, for you, those people are evil. They also are operating within witchcraft, but they're sort of like the human self to some degree. So, you get me? That sort of consciousness, they'll look away from you. But for us, they're trying to act dominant over you and control you, make you weak and dumb and submissive to them. They don't think that's who you are. That's just the goal of the witchcraft. Make you like a coward. So, even though they're staring at you, the witchcraft was projecting to me, oh my God, don't look at them. Because what if they call the cops on you for looking at them? Can you believe it always attributes mental illness and criminality to me? Anybody they're gang stalking, as long as we defend ourselves and look at these people when they're harassing us or stalking us in a way that's direct, right? They're staring at you, watching you as you eat. I was actually eating too. So you see, if you knew the spiritual side, that's because when I'm eating, they want to put a curse or some sort of witchcraft or something evil on me as I eat, so that I get sick. You see, therefore, why they always gang stalk you in a way that then they come to your environment and sit around you when you eat. While other times, maybe they'll take gaps and stuff. So you get me? If you knew the spiritual side, it's just that you and I are seeing the physical behaviors. Exactly. We will realize they're different than other humans who stare at others, right? Because they're just being evil or something. These ones are putting curses and witchcraft and horrible things on us. So then that's why, in order to intimidate you away from looking at them, because they cannot then put it on you, right? They have to look away like a human does. Even though it's a demon, it still has to act like a human. It has to let the human go and turn away, correct? Because it's covert, right? Even if it's not covert, you get me? It's still a human. The human at some point is going to notice that their demon is using them. They're agreeing with it. Yeah, they're evil. But then they're going to notice that person is not letting that go. Because it's what you allow them. It doesn't matter if they're possessed at a higher level or a low level. They're still human, right? But when we pay attention to them, we look at them, we react to them, we think what they're doing is directed at us. We think it's personal. We think they know us. We blah, blah, blah. We attach them, to ourselves the way the thoughts do. Is not us doing that to ourselves. If we agree with that, then okay, it's really easy to get you to actually think they really might call the cops on you, right? Because you agreed with it. You got scared of it. So then they might actually get on their phone. And okay, the thoughts are going to attack you. Be like, oh no, look away, look away. You obviously know they're sort of narcissistic. They gaslight people. You can't even be human anymore and stand up for yourself. You get me? Someone's staring at you like that. So you get me? If you ignore them, then you're going to have not only the mental cleanliness, right, and healing to have these abilities again, to stare down an evil human when you should, and then ignore them when there's no reason to pay attention to them, right? Even if they're sitting there with evil intention, exactly, it's indirect. Until they become direct, right? They approach you, they talk to you, they stare. You're going to have that quality again that you used to have and other people have that just don't have to deal with this Gangstalking. Okay. But then two, because you're healthy, they're gonna get intimidated because they made your mind sick. They made your body sick with all these thoughts and feelings and sensitizations and synchronizations, basically creating an identity for you. That is who you are. You're some little prey to us. We all come here every day. We mop you. We follow you. We're a gang. We're a crowd. You have no power to get a job. You have no power to do this. You have no power to get married. Blah, blah, right? They're trying to act that way. Um, and then when you shake that off and you really try to succeed, you fail. Then they're going to come back to your mind, those thoughts, and say, see, I was right. So I'm telling you, just go to really healthy places. Like every state you live in or country, go to the location that you would say is more rich or right, really sort of healthy and wealthy. It's very hard for them to use humans in those environments because they're usually right at that sort of level of being healthy, educated, and they have those nice corporate jobs and they're just busy, you know. They're just going to be used to walk at the same time, make it seem like they're synchronizing. But you already know they're human, as if they're walking as a group all at once accidentally. Anyone can make it seem like they're similar to you. Like, you just know that's a mental thing. And they can never do that. That's not real. They don't know the other human is being made to walk just like them. You're going to be smart and be like, and realize they're not doing anything. They're just being used. They're only responsible for what they do directly, like they then all of a sudden stare at you. Okay. So it's really the humans who I would say are very mentally ill, very extreme, and those who actually are mentally ill, right? And the other ones, highly narcissistic, right? That's mental illness too, but they just, for some reason, get away with not being treated that way, right? Usually, I don't know if you guys can see it, but for me, when I see their bodies, they look very perverted to me. I can see the perversion first and then the mental stuff later. You get me? Just those creepy families. Like usually it could be like a male and a female couple with their kid, right? Maybe you went to this park like that. Other people would never think humans like that would bother somebody, right? Because they're thinking they're together. They're a couple. They would probably feel ashamed. No, they're both perverted. They're not going to care if they're staring at somebody. You get me? And again, they don't see you that way. They're not treating you like someone they think is weak or someone they can stare at in a perverted way. I just mean they're perverted. Because, right, whoever they're gangstalking is a strong person. So they don't actually see you in a weak way or anything. It's just they have to stare because the stare is not physical. It's spiritual. It's witchcraft and stuff they're putting on you. You know? Okay, but in order to have mental control over you, to make thoughts enter your mind that's trying to get you to actually think, they actually are treating you like some weak person. The thoughts are going to say they're staring at you because they're nasty. They're staring at you. They're going to lie. It's never going to be too extreme. It's never going to say things like they think you're weak in this. You get me? Just the typical pervert type of stare. It's going to at least attribute it to that, and it's not. I just told you they're scared of you. You're not a weak person. Therefore, no one is seeing you or treating you that way. And the human doesn't even know anything. Just something took over their face. So the more you see that's how they are, you say that to yourself, that's how they are, you're going to see the face now no longer have that energy, those thoughts and feelings, portraying it as perversion. Because sometimes they're lying to us, right? These thoughts. You're going to see, wait a minute, they're actually staring because, exactly, they're very shallow human beings. And when they see someone better than them, you and I would agree, they will probably stare, right? They're not thinking anything bad. They're just simply acknowledging that you're different than them. You get me? So you start to remember humans have different reasons for looking at somebody. But the thoughts always want you to think there's just one, you know, either perverted or evil eye. No, there's many reasons. A human could be thinking you look similar to somebody. Like, it's just that you're seeing their qualities, their characteristic qualities. One of it is perversion. Okay, and demons know you're aware of that you're aware of their energy. So then they're going to try to get a mental agreement with you that that's why then they're staring. No, they're not. Okay, then if you ask me why you get sort of self-conscious thoughts about yourself when they watch or stare at you, right? Maybe in their cars as you're walking by the crosswalk. I told you, it's always going to have a perversion vibe to it, but that's not what's happening. because you're not some weak person, nor are they even doing that. And the human is being used. You get me? So it's not even rational for them to do anything in that sense more consciously. What's happening is they don't want you to know your identity. They don't want you to know who you are. That as demons, they're scared of you. They're intimidated by you. So they have to project to you as if everything they do is coming from a place of some sort of dominance or something. No, it's not. Two, they have to do that in order for you to never one day figure out it's demons and not people, right? They have to attribute it to something, like a characteristic quality, like, oh, these humans are perverted, When Rise is more spiritual, that's just their characteristic, yeah, but they're not acting perverted towards you that moment. The stare is never ending, right? And obviously when they start to gangstalk, they like to never look at you and act covert and stuff, just like they're just minding their business as a psychological torture. I know. But sooner or later, then they're going to start walking in front of you. They always want you to see them. At some point, they're going to wave their hand and say hello. They're going to always, sooner or later, get to a point where they stare at you. Or you feel something's watching you even when they're looking away. You see, that's because a demon is doing the staring. They just inspire those humans to come outside at the same time you're outside. They don't know you're outside. If it becomes a pattern, then yeah, we would say now they agreed to it. But they're agreeing to it from a place of just general evil and not from a place of personal. You get me? It's not personal. They walk by you, their demon is like, oh, you see that person? They're better than you. And they put envy into their heart. Okay. And then they walk by another person. It could even be a gangstalker. And the demon is going to say the same thing to them. So they're targeting each other too. You see, because you're so absorbed with yourself, because you've started to become that sort of victimized way, you forgot to breathe and see it. Humans really are always evil to each other in that given environment. If they're not good people, it's not one versus a whole mob. You're going to start to realize they're all uncomfortable with each other. That sort of way they make it seem as if they all get along, even though they're not talking to each other. You're going to see that's in your head because you're seeing the demons getting along. So yeah, lastly, right? They stare so much because they're putting witchcraft on you. They're putting feelings and thoughts on you because that's basically what gangstalking is. It's just thoughts and feelings. A lot of the things they do are just normal behavior. So how did you become aware of it? Thoughts and feelings. Okay, so that's why then when you walk by and maybe they're all standing or in their cars, that's why then they have to stare. Because they don't want you to think for a split second these humans are truly waiting for the traffic light. You get me? They truly are. They're just being used, Two, even if they were consciously stalking you, right? They don't want you to treat them like they're genuinely waiting for the traffic light and it's your turn to walk as a pedestrian. You get me? They don't want you to just still be okay in your health as a human being, your ability to just heal and relax. Everything is just mental agreement. They want an agreement with you mentally. You might see something in the morning. You might get a thought what it means. And then you might see something later, right? You might have seen a cop drive by your neighborhood. You get a thought. You brush it off. But then they walk by again when you come outside. And now you're getting thoughts that like that. It's connecting that first time to the second time. So that's the other thing you really have to deal with, right? Just keep telling yourself that's who they are. You'll be absent from them. And there's typical thoughts and feelings and gangstalking. But then when they start to try to get an agreement with you that something's going to happen to you, you separate event number one from event number two. Don't try to separate the event from the feelings and thoughts because fighting with feelings and thoughts just makes them worse. Because they're witchcraft, demons cannot talk to us all day. Intrusive thoughts or any thoughts, you all agree don't stop. They don't take a break. And demons are a living being. They would get tired. So right? So if something keeps coming back to you, the more you fight with it. It's not a person, it's not a demon, it's not a living thing. It's actually a witchcraft that's just designed to do that. So I wouldn't say ignore this one, because this one is about fear, while the other one is more about awareness and stuff. Don't ignore it, but just disassociate the events that it's trying to connect. Well, that car just parked and there's construction over there. What if they, like that, separate that from each other and tell yourself some actual normal reason is that, you know what I mean? If you observe, you'll sometimes see it too with your own eyes. So it's okay to observe sometimes. Like that, you'll just start to see this. A lot of this is just mental. And then the hyperawareness makes it easier for them to torment their mind. And then when they see you fell for that, of course, and they're going to do that more. But when we stop doing that, we just ignore them. I don't know if they do this to other people, but for me, I deal with multiple demons following me, not just those of gangstalking. So, right, sometimes what I see is not always connected to this program or that program. So what I deal with now, since I've defeated all their behaviors, is they put witchcraft in my actual body now. If they cough, before it was just irritating. Now the cough attacks my heart with witchcraft. If you guys study witchcraft, it has many jobs, some can cause disease, illness, some can make you fail in certain situations or many situations, right? Some can cause rejection, something like that. They have different jobs. And there's a witchcraft that just hurts your heart, like physical pain, So it's like this pain attacks my heart. And if they do something again, boom, my stomach gets pain. Like that. There's just too much pain. Too much attack to the body and mind. See, a cop just drove by. I thought it was just a typical black car. But they did something to my mind that just made me look at it longer. And then I saw the word police on it. Like that. They're just making us aware. But then, okay, I could just ignore that, right? It's just normal to see that. Even if they made me aware of that. Then I heard a thought. Why are these cops driving by so many times tonight? That's strange. Are they looking for something? Are they going to do theater around you? But see, they're trying to make me forget that that's not a weird occurrence this night. This is a city where they patrol it every night. Every 15 minutes, they actually walk by. So you see how they're attacking our minds? Something that we could normally attribute to the fact that, well, they're driving by every few minutes because they're just doing what they've done for the past few years. They're patrolling. And that's how the city was before I came here. It's not even connected to me. They usually push you to cities or states that are very criminal when they're gangstalking you, right? Because you're usually moving from place to place to get away. You think it's a neighborhood. They'll push you to a place where there's too much crime or something like that. Everything is about connecting things so well that have nothing to do with each other so that you actually start to think it's about you. So, right, I just reminded myself, it's normal for the cop to drive by. And the thought side, why is it the one with the black car? Why not the other colors? You see, he's trying to get me to engage with these thoughts and actually believe what it wanted me to believe. It was trying to get me to believe that sooner or later they're going to do some theater around here. You see, then I just remind myself. It doesn't mean you keep ignoring that. No, if that actually does happen, you're protected mentally from the fear they send you. You actually just tell yourself then what you're going to do. Oh, yeah, I'm going to move away. It's okay. They're human. They have a job. If they are having some traffic accident or something they're dealing with, or someone calls them in that building over that, you remind yourself it's normal for them to park somewhere or do something or deal with a crime. And you, right, are just going to move away and let them use that spot. You're going to come back to wherever you're sitting or standing later. Like that. See? Now it's not theater, right? You just see it as a thought making you aware that something normal like that could happen. Right? A cop could have something to deal with around your environment. You turned it into something like that. Versus they're looking for you. They're going to do something around here. That's not rational. These are individuals and they don't know what's going on in your city. Someone just calls them to the situation. Someone just commits a crime around you. You don't want to connect them, so you live your life in peace. right? So when they connect a situation to something, then that another situation telling you the second one is going to happen, blah, 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 you separate it logically and you tell yourself what you're going to do. The healthy people, good people like you would always do if it was normal and not intentional. That's it. And then for the just typical awareness, right? The synchronization, the vehicles, just the simple awareness you have when you come outside. You see cars and humans, boom, the thoughts start, right? Oh, another gang stalker, another gang stalker. Those ones, you just see whatever you see, their energy, their body language, the way they're walking, the reason they're outside. You always see that's just how they are. Because I just told you, they're that same narcissistic family. They always used to go outside when you were young. You just probably don't remember. And they just used to stalk other people. And those people are not going through gang stalking. You get me? Gang stalking is not happening to everybody. Okay, so that means a lot of people are being stalked. But one, they don't know. Two, it's stalking, but a different witchcraft, a different goal. You know, they just don't have too much power over their life. And lastly, when the thought then says to you, well, you're doomed, you're weak, you're powerless. Okay, this is it. I think I've covered everything. Typical awareness of gang stalking. Then they connect situations for you, telling you something bad's going to happen. The third tactic is they just tell you, right, your life is over. How can something follow you like this? And other people live their life in peace. And like that's trying to make you feel that way about yourself, right? Victimized, they're dominated, overpowered. Okay, you just remind yourself you're going to pray and they're going to get the hell out of your life.